It is 6 o'clock on June 16th. We are calling to order the Board of Education for Alpine School District. We are meeting in our district office at 575 North, 100 East in American Fork. First up on our agenda, and I'm calling that meeting to order at 6 p.m. I just want to double check I got the time right. First up on our agenda, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Cammie Harper, and then our inspirational thought will be led by Kate Ross from Oak Canyon.
Please stand. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next. Oh, Cammie. Yep, Kate, sorry. I'm a little out of it today. Kate, thanks for being here and following along the agenda that I can't follow. So thank you.
It's all good. For the room, my name is Kate Ross. I am a product, a parent, a patron, and an employee of Alpine School District. In my current role, I am the principal of Oak Canyon Junior High School and starting my 30th year in education. Thank you. I'm glad you applauded. That would have been embarrassing. Anyway, for 111 years, this school district has been more than lines on a map, names on a building. It has been generations of students discovering their potential, teachers changing lives, families supporting one another, and communities united by a shared belief in the power of education. As we begin the final year of our district in its current form, it is natural to feel a sense of sadness. Endings often bring reflection, and this transition marks the close of a chapter that has shaped countless lives. There is also uncertainty. Questions about the future can feel heavy when the path ahead is still being written. I actually pulled out this book that was put together in 2015 as we were celebrating the centennial of the district. And I found it very interesting looking at the beginning stages of Alpine School District and seeing some of the parallels with what we're experiencing right now. Obviously, very different things were happening in 1915, but I digress. History teaches us something important. While organizations change, the values that built them can endure. The strength of this district has never resided in boundaries or governance structures. It has lived in people, in the dedication of educators, the resilience of students, the support of families, and the commitment of communities to help each child succeed. This moment is not an ending, it is also a beginning. The 3 new districts will have opportunities to build on a remarkable legacy while creating their own stories, traditions, and successes. The foundation laid over the past 111 years does not disappear. It becomes the starting point from which new possibilities grow. As we move through this final year together, perhaps our task is to honor the past without being bound by it, to acknowledge our concerns without being defined by them, and to face the future with courage and hope. The students watching us today will remember less about the structure of the district and more about how the adults around them responded to change. May they see gratitude for what has been, respect for one another, and confidence that the future can be bright. After 111 years, the story is not ending. It is branching into 3 new chapters. And if we carry forward the same commitment to children that has guided us for more than a century, those chapters will be worthy of the legacy that came before.
Thanks, Kate. Appreciate it. Next up, we have our recognitions.
All right. We would like to invite Lucy Meekum and her principal, Kate Ross, up to come forward. Lucy, tonight we are thrilled to recognize Lucy Meekum from Oak Canyon Junior High, who was named a grand prize winner in the Utah State Board of Education's America 250 Essay and Art Contest. Out of nearly 270 entries across Utah, submissions were evaluated through a blind judging process based on artistic expression and how effectively they explored the core ideas of the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. Lucy's exceptional visual piece perfectly captured these principles, earning her a $1,000 scholarship. Her beautiful artwork is now proudly featured on the display at the State Board office in Salt Lake City. Congratulations, Lucy.
Okay, we've had a lot of other celebrations since we met last as a board. And so we want to honor our schools who have won state championships since our last board meeting. Lone Peak High School 6A Girls Golf State Champions and the Lone Peak High 6A Boys Soccer State Champions, the American Fork High School 6A Boys Baseball State Champions, the Sky Ridge High, their boys lacrosse state champions, and Mountain View 4A Boys Track State Champions. Let's give a round of applause for these students.
Okay, so we're going to turn the time over to Craig Carter because prior to our public hearing, we're going to have some basic information provided about the budget. Craig, thank you.
Thank you, President. I must say I feel a bit guilty being the one to present the last budget for Alpine School District, given as many budgets as Rob has presented over 50 or 60 years or so, and the good work that my two best friends, Crystal and Robert, put into building this budget, and several others in our team, but I'm honored to do so. And we're going to go through just a brief presentation of some of the highlights of the budget. Okay, fair enough. So your budget book, the big one that you have, contains information of our final legal budget for FY26, as well as information regarding our tentative budget for FY27. It's broken into three sections that you're probably familiar with from previous years: the executive summary, the financial section, and the glossary section. We've cut it back a little bit this year from prior books. You may notice we decided not to go for some of the awards that Alpine has earned over the last several years. Okay, thank you. So you'll see in here the budget contains 5 years of data. FY23, 24, and 25 are the final audited results. The final legal budget for FY26 and our tentative budget for FY27. So each of the sections that you may peruse and go through will have information for each of those years, fiscal years. There's 11 funds that will be highlighted in your budget report, budget book. So a lot of reading for you to enjoy. Next slide. So it was interesting. I kind of liked this slide for what it shares. This is our final, this is the revenue summary by source for FY26 and FY27. While the numbers are different, you'll notice the percentages are the same. between the 2 years. So we're dependent on state funding as our primary source of revenue. I don't think that's a surprise to any of us here. And property is our local property taxes is our next largest source of revenues. The thing that surprises many people is how little we get from the feds. Federal funding is not nearly as big as some people have made it to be in years gone by. So I thought that was an interesting depiction. Wanted to share this to show our enrollment trends for October 1 over the last 10 years or so. Alpine, as you all are very aware, had pretty rapid growth from 2014 up to about 2024, to about 10 years, or maybe not quite that long, with the exception of the COVID year. Everybody dropped off, in 2020. But then it kind of leveled off a couple years ago, and we've seen actually in the last 2 years some moderate decline in our enrollment, and we're projecting a bit of a decline in FY27 as well. With that, we'll probably continue for a couple years, and then we see growth happening again and Alpine as a whole, beginning probably the latter part of this decade, around 2028. I think most of that will be in the Lake Mountain area, but there'll be some other areas as well in Aspen Peaks and Timpanogos. Okay. This is the FY27 budget split by object and by function. And the thing that's interesting here is if you look by object, and this is typical amongst nearly all the districts, nearly 90% of our budget goes to people. Salary and benefits, which doesn't leave a lot for some of these other discretionary expenses. But that's the core of our business. Our teachers, our staff, they make up the heart of our districts and do the work that we need to educate our kids. When you look at it by function, instruction, which is the largest piece of that, 72%, which is probably one of the highest percentages of districts in the state as far as what's devoted strictly to instruction. What I've always liked to look at as well is not only that, but look at how much of our budget is devoted to people that interact directly with kids. And so if you start looking at instruction, school administration, transportation, custodial, school custodians, our media people, our counselors, we're closer to 90%, or 86% of our budget goes to people that interact closely with our students. And so it's a small percentage that deals with what one would consider overhead, if you will. This is basically the highlights of what the FY27 budget is funding that's new to us. So we have the negotiated agreement settlement, that's 0.5% for all employees. The insurance benefits for them, the increase in insurance that we have, as well as steps and lanes for all of our employees, including the one-time payment that was agreed to, the $500. Class size reduction to maintain our thresholds where we're at, about $4.1 million. Nursing support, so we are taking on, the nurses are now Alpine employees. We took them over from the county health department. It's about $500,000 for that. FTE as well as para and teacher support for special ed to meet the needs that they have, $2 million. And the increase in our maintenance of effort for CTE. From the operations, the Polaris lease is going up next year, so that's what's included in that facility cost increase. And the, tell me again, I got it. The licensing for the nurses, right? Yeah. So the nursing, their licensing, we'll cover that, it's $33,000. And then with the blind mule settlement, we have some training that will be ongoing for all of our employees that will cover. For your information, starting salary for this next year for a new teacher is $62,301. $62,301. Wanted to share this slide with you. As you know, the board over the last 3 years has made a conscious effort to reduce the levy that we use to pay our general obligation debt. We had fund balance we had to work through, and so this shows a kind of a historical trend of our GO bond levy from FY23, where we accepted the certified rate at 1714. Had we accepted the certified rate in 24, it would have been 1320. We lowered that by 3 increments. We did the same thing in FY25, lowered it by 3 increments from the certified rate. As well as in FY26, we lowered it by 3 increments from the certified rate. And so as a result of that, we were able to offset some of the other increases that we had, as well as work through our fund balance. We still have about 9 to 10 million fund balance in debt, so we're proposing a small decrement to the certified rate that we've been given of just under 1 increment, so quadruple 0.85, which would be 601 for the tax rate for next year for debt. We anticipate accepting the certified rate. There's no need for truth and taxation this year, as you know. We haven't received all of the rates. We're still waiting on the school basic levy. We hope to have that by Thursday or Friday, and at which time we'll finalize and update our budget with those rates, get you brand new copies of the budget, and we'll be good to go at that point. Any questions that you might have?
I'd just like to make a comment. When I was first came on the board, our starting salary for teachers was right around $35,000 a year. And when Ada asked you to reiterate that number, I wanted to just say thank you so much for all those who have clawed and sacrificed so that we could bump that teacher salary up. It's still not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was in terms of providing a living wage for our teachers that have the biggest impact on our communities and families. So appreciate that report, and I'm just want to highlight that this is a big lift to get from 35,000 to where we are today. So thank you.
Do we have any other comments? Okay. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate that. Okay, so it is now time for us to move into a public hearing. So do we have a motion to close the board meeting?
I so move.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Wilson. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Board Member Beeson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to close the board meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously at 6:19 p.m. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing regarding the final FY26 budget?
I move to open the public meeting regarding the FY26 budget.
We have a motion by Board Member Bateman. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Board Member Lincoln. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to open the public hearing for the final FY26 budget, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously, and we are opening the public meeting, the public hearing at 6:19 p.m. I now declare the public hearing open for the final FY26 budget. A sign-up sheet was available prior to this meeting to allow patrons the opportunity to speak. Those living outside of ASD and those who were unable to sign up before the meeting can submit written comments at alpineschools.org/schoolboard. As you are called up, please introduce yourself by stating your name and what city you live in. You'll be given up to 3 minutes to speak. While the board does not engage in a discussion during the public comment period, they may arrange for a staff member to communicate with you later. Do we have any comments on the public hearing? No. Okay. So no one has signed up. Okay, no, okay. So I will now entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I move that we close the public hearing.
We have a motion by Board Member Clement. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Board Member Peterson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to close the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously at 6:21 p.m. I declare the public hearing closed. Do we have a motion to reopen the board meeting?
So moved.
But I have to don't have to close and reopen? I think I do.
So moved.
Okay. Motion by Board Member Wilson. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Peterson. Okay. Motion to reopen the board meeting. Motion by Board Member Wilson, second by Board Member Peterson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That appears to pass unanimously at 6:21 p.m. Okay, next up, we have a public hearing regarding the tentative FY27 budget. Do we have a motion to close the board meeting?
I move to close the board meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Lincoln and a second by Board Member Wilson to close the board meeting. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That appears to pass unanimously at 6:22 p.m. Okay, do we have a motion to open the public hearing regarding the tentative FY27 budget?
I move to open the public hearing regarding the tentative FY27 budget.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Board Member Bateman and a second by Board Member Peterson to open the public hearing regarding the tentative FY27 budget. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Okay, that appears to pass unanimously at 6:22 p.m. So I now declare the public hearing open for the tentative FY27 budget. Do I need to read the sign-up sheet thing again? Okay. Did we have any public comments? Okay. Okay, we had no public comments regarding the tentative FY27 budget. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I move that we close the public hearing.
Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Beeson and a second by Board Member Clement. Any discussion?
I would just like to chime in here for those who are unfamiliar with this process, that there are laws that require us to do these separate public hearings for each of these things. This isn't actually Julie deciding this is the optimal way of handling
I would
this.
actually prefer not to do this,
So-
so thank you for recognizing
so-
that, Mark.
But I hope that anyone who is participating realizes that we are welcoming public input, not only during this public hearing, but anytime. We love to have you contact us as board members with any input that you have on these or other topics. And maybe if there's less discussion than you might expect about a new budget for the year, it's because we have been working on this all year. And we, as board members, are pretty familiar with almost every piece of this budget, and we feel like although we would love to lower taxes and raise salaries, it doesn't work that way. We've tried to balance this to be fair for our taxpayers, but at the same time to provide the resources that our teachers and employees need. This was a really tough year, in my opinion. By the time we got through paying for step and lane and insurance increases, there was not a lot of funding left for anything else, and we were trying to prepare for the new districts to not burden them with, the way the law is written. They have to keep the same salary structure and stuff as they begin their new districts. So we didn't want to burden them with something that was unfeasible. And so this has been the result of a lot of hand-wringing and struggling and wishing we could do more. I know I apologize. I've come to, to the finance committee and, isn't there some way we can give a bigger teacher salary increase? And I've looked through all the numbers, and it just feels like we're giving everything we can. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of give those casual observers some insight as to why things are going the way they are. Thanks.
Thanks, Board Member Clement. I also wanted, go ahead, Superintendent. Just to kind of piggyback on what Mark was saying, it's also a very long process that involves a lot of people. We have a huge group that comes together for a budget meeting specifically about capital outlay, and then another one for maintenance and operations. In addition to that, I just want to express gratitude for for our business services team, for Craig, for Crystal, for Robert, Ryan, Crystal. I'm going to forget somebody, but there is a ton of work that's done behind the scenes to make sure that we're compliant with state and federal code, to make sure that, we're compliant with all the pieces that, Mark was referencing as far as the legal pieces with the public hearing. And I'm just incredibly grateful for the team for the work that they've put in for this. It's always a heavy lift. And I'm, and even though it is a reduced budget packet, it's still, it's not the regular 200 pages that I'm used to, but it's what, is it 90? 90-ish? So a huge amount of effort from the team. So just want to express my gratitude to everybody in business services who's participated in this. It's a heavy lift, and there's a lot of work behind the scenes that people are not aware of. I just wanted to express my gratitude to you all.
Yeah, ditto to the work of our business services team. They're consummate professionals. They look for ways to stretch and to advise and recommend. Craig, it's just a privilege working with you again, and your leadership and the calming influence you've had. A couple of the slides he put in the presentation that he came up with to convey a shareable story about what's happened. I just wanted to make a comment about one of them. Mark hit on how difficult this budget is. One of the reasons for that is we are decreasing in enrollment, as many districts are facing through the state and in the nation. So down 1,000 students in the last 2 years. For a district our size, it still is painful because that's millions of dollars of revenue. Our primary revenue source is the state. And so as we lose students, we also lose considerable revenue. And yet still keeping commitments to employees, their families, to care for our students is something I wanted to make mention of. To Robert, Ryan, Crystal, and the business team, they're some of the best, and it's our privilege to work with you and all that you do to advise and to recommend. My thanks to you for your efforts.
Can I throw in one more thing? In case anyone didn't notice, we're splitting the district. And like the business team is had pieces broken off and thrown over and into other districts, and new people are in new seats and new roles. And thank you for all of those who are filling other positions than they normally would. But this is a Herculean effort in the best of years, and now it's being done by people who maybe have just come on the job. And thank you so much for all you've done to make this happen. It's a very professional team, even in the face of difficult circumstances.
Okay, so we have a motion to close the public hearing. A motion made by Board Member Beeson and a second by Board Member Clement. All in favor? Please say. Oh, sorry, Ada, did you?
No.
Oh, you were just really excited. Sorry, I thought I cut you off. Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously at 6:29 p.m. I declare the public hearing closed. Do we have a motion to reopen the board meeting?
I move that we reopen the board meeting.
A motion by Board Member Peterson. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Board Member Clement. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to open the board meeting with a motion made by Board Member Peterson and a second by Board Member Clement, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously, and we are back to our board meeting at 6:30 p.m. Thank you all for your patience to make sure that we are compliant with all of those pieces. Next up, we have time for set aside for community comments. We now have up to 30 minutes set aside for this. The opportunity is allocated for patrons living within the Alpine School District boundary. A sign-up sheet was available prior to this meeting, allowing up to 10 patrons the opportunity to speak. Those living outside of ASD and those who were unable to sign up before all slots were full can submit written comments at alpineschools.org/schoolboard. Scanning the QR code in the lobby will also direct you to that form. As you are called up, please introduce yourself by stating your name. You'll be given up to 3 minutes to speak. While the board does not engage in a discussion during the public comment period, they may arrange for a staff member to communicate with you later. Personnel issues are not appropriate discussion items for an open meeting environment. If you have a personnel concern, please contact a member of administration or put your concerns in writing and address it to the Board of Education. And it appears that we have 3 individuals who have signed up for community comments tonight. First will be Chris Dowling, next Joe Nielsen, and then last will be Molly Barrington. So we'd invite Chris to come to the microphone.
My name is Chris Dowling. I want to talk to you about Timpanogos High School student body elections in general and the recent student body election in particular. As you probably know, in the beginning, students elected their own officers. Years ago, that election process was changed dramatically so that now only 40% of the student body vote goes to elect its officers. The other 60% is elected by the faculty. The current process puts too much power in the hands of too few, even too much power in the hands of one, namely the teacher who teaches student government class at Timpanogos and is in charge of elections. Let me cite some appalling facts from this year's election. I only have time to mention 7. Number 1, this teacher encouraged one student, Brooklyn Kanan, who was enrolled in his class since she entered high school to run for student body president, while discouraging another 4.0 student and a member of the soccer team, Dougie Earl, from running. Dougie has never taken a class from him. He allowed his anointed student twice the allotted time in the student assembly for her campaign speech, 2 times, while Dougie kept to the allotted time. Without authority.
Mr. Dowling, I'm going to ask you that you refrain from sharing the names of minors in the board meeting.
Okay.
If you will just adjust your comments accordingly, please.
Fine. Thank you. Without authority, he unilaterally invited every faculty member to fill out a form endorsing candidates when this privilege was designed only for 7 faculty members chosen by the candidates. This allowed him, as a faculty member, a second source of influence. He instructed members of the student council to throw out previously scanned ballots that only had a single candidate checked. This amounted to 20 ballots, all of which were for the same candidate. He destroyed evidence of the election, including ballots and interview scores, after receiving directions that the data was to be preserved and handed over via a grammar request. After it was revealed that one candidate won by a landslide of over 60% of the votes, his father approached him trying to find answers. He told the father that the interview results were razor thin and did not affect the outcome of the election. This was a blatant lie. 3 of the 4 interviewers gave the winning candidate excellent scores. The sitting student body president, who was a member of one of the 4 members of the interview committee, gave the winning candidate the highest score. The winning candidate received, I just have one more paragraph. The winning candidate received a composite score of 126. The losing candidate, even though he received 60% of the vote, received a composite score of 105. In order to receive a 105, this teacher had to score him with ones and twos on a 5-point scale of all questions. Following the election, when he realized his underhanded activity was not sufficient for his desired result, he unilaterally and with no foundation or precedent changed the interview results, increasing one of the candidates' scores from 126 to 127 and decreasing the others from 105 to 100. If this teacher were in charge of a national election, he would go to jail for this kind of nefarious behavior. At best, he should be terminated. At worst, he should never have anything to do with student government at Timotogos High School ever again. And this kind of activity has been going on for years, and yet nothing has been done. What a terrible example he is to his students he is setting. I thank you for your time and request that you take the appropriate action that these injustices will not be repeated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dowling. I'm going to ask that we have a staff member have a conversation with you. Dave, are you okay to handle that? Dave Maurer sitting in the back of the room if you want to connect with him. Thank you. Okay, next up we have Joe Nielsen, followed by Molly Barrington.
I'm Joe Nielsen, spokesperson for Alpine Education Support Professionals. Members of the board, the Alpine Education Support Professionals accept the proposed package, and we look forward to working with the new districts. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. And next up, we have Molly Barrington.
Okay, Johnny wanted to tell you, can you say thank you? Thank you. Johnny started extended school year this morning, and while there were tears, because sleeping in and or lazy mornings are the most enjoyable part of summer, he had a really good first day, and he had several of his previous classmates in the classroom with him, and it was a really, really neat experience to see the commitment of the teachers and the paraprofessional aides and the school nurse all come together for these little less than 3 hours to make sure that my son doesn't backslide over the summer and to keep his education going. And I wanted to personally thank all of you, and I especially appreciated the slide that pointed out that there was extra money set aside for special education. And I truly want to thank you guys so much for that, because it makes a big difference, and the teachers and paraprofessionals that are hired specifically to work in special ed also help so many other students, what we call the regular ed or the mainstream, but the help and the community that comes across is amazing. And my son is going to junior high this next year, which is a very interesting transition as a mama, because he has had an amazing experience at Highland Elementary, and to have had the same teacher for 6 years and have been able to stay at the same school he has progressed so much, and I have seen his classmates progress so much, and I wanted to thank you guys. And I know that many amazing people have already moved on to new new district positions. But I want to thank you guys so much for aiding in the transition, and I know that it is still a monumental task. And I want you to know that it is noticed and it is appreciated, because it was not a referendum on your particular jobs. It was looking towards the future and realizing that there are many other things that need to be taken care of as well. But we want to let you know how much we appreciate you and thank you, and hope you're having a good summer. And I know a lot of you are working through your summer doing double jobs, so thank you.
Thanks, Molly, and thanks, Johnny. We appreciate having you guys here. Next up, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the minutes. Thank you, Bree.
A motion by Board Member Wilson, and then we have a second.
I'll second.
A second by Board Member Lincoln. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes with a motion by Board Member Wilson and a second by Board Member Lincoln, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously. Next up, claims, Superintendent.
Board members, you received the claims in your packet and would recommend that you accept the claims tonight.
Do we have a motion to accept the claims?
I move that we accept the claims.
A motion by Board Member Bateman. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Board Member Clement. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the claims with a motion by Board Member Bateman and a second by Board Member Clement, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously. Next up, the routine business, Superintendent.
Routine business items today contain a budget summary, the Alpine Foundation report, the personnel hiring and releases report, and then LEA-specific licenses. Would recommend the board approve the routine business.
Do we have a motion to approve the routine business?
I move that we approve the routine business.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Sorry, was that was you? Okay. Sorry, all of a sudden it was in stereo. Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the routine business with a motion by Board Member Peterson and a second by Board Member Lincoln, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously. Next up, we have a discussion action item regarding the naming of 2 special schools in the Timpanogos School District area. Superintendent.
Yeah, I'm grateful to share a couple of thoughts. Joe, Dr. Jensen, thanks for being here tonight. Superintendent at Timpanogos School District. Katie Baton, thanks for being here and sharing some information with me earlier. And Dan and Melanie, thank you for being here as well tonight. They ran a process to recommend names for you. And we also got some feedback, late feedback that I shared via email with all of you prior to the meeting, based on a survey from the Timpanogos board. And Board Member Wilson might even weigh in on that. But we received some feedback. A couple of options for our special school opening this fall, which will house our pre-K through 12th. Dan will be the principal there, and we're excited to have him take on that role. There are 3 names, Peak View School, Silver Peak School, and Valley Ridge School were the 3 choices. The one set of responses, if I understand, and Dan will correct me, or Katie will correct me, or Joe, you can correct me, you do it regularly anyway. But the one group recommended Peak View, and I don't know if they had a recommended mascot, Dan. I don't remember that from the communication. All right. But the second survey actually had Silver Peak as the majority. And so, I don't know, kind of a toss-up. We had 2 surveys, 2 different results. But my information is now exhausted. That's what I know to this point. So Board Member Wilson, if you want to weigh in, or if you'd like to invite Mr. Heaps to come to the mic and share his thoughts, that'd be great.
I am not able to access your the document that you emailed us. Can I? Thank you. It's coming.
There's the hard copy. When in doubt, print a hard copy.
Do I need
There
to
you
talk
go.
to our tech people? But I would like to invite whoever is ready to speak to this. That would be awesome on behalf of our new Timpanogos School District. Thank you. Dan.
How's that? Okay. Yes, so I would love to just walk you through how this has gone. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of your help and support. I have a lot of friends on this board who have been fierce supporters of special schools. And I feel like we are in good hands from a district leadership perspective. So I just want to say thank you. So what I want to do is just kind of walk you through our process. I'll try and be as brief as I can. So basically, to start this process, I talked with Ryan Hemming, who is the current principal at Peterson. Since all of my students are coming from that school, I wanted some names of some parents that he felt like would be just amazing. So he gave me that list, and that list is on the TV. Just want to shout out to our 6 parents that were part of this process. Heather Claybaugh, we have Robin Dillon, Miranda Parsons, Heather Benson, Rhonda Sater, and Sarah Keller. They were awesome. They were so, so great to work with, and I am stoked to have them as a part of our school. So I had that list. Basically, our first step was we needed to send out a survey to all of our parents and staff. So we sent that out in middle May. We had it open for about a week and a half. We sent an email with that link, and then also sent home physical flyers with a QR code with the survey link, because we all know not everyone checks their email. So we wanted to try and get it from as many angles as we could. So we had that, and then our school naming panel met on Tuesday, June 2nd. So we'll talk about that next. So in our meeting, we wanted to make sure, because naming a school is kind of a big deal, right? And naming a new special school is a rarity. They don't come along very often. And so just knowing that there would be a lot of passion and thoughts, we wanted to make sure that that work was guided by norms. So we co-created some team norms that we wanted to work by, went over the relevant policies, and then also from the survey results, we wanted to create some naming guidelines through which that we could work through as we are looking at names. And these are the guidelines that we used. So one is we wanted the names that represent our unique identity as a special school. That was the first one. Second is there were some themes that did surface from the survey, and those being reaching for goals, strength, hope, and doing hard things. So we wanted to make sure that whatever names were given to you to vote on, that they did align with that. And then the next is that these names that they represent the landscape and the culture of the area. And then the last 2 ones were kind of just cautions, right? So the next one was the Sharon site will likely just be short term. Because we did have one response that said Sharon School as one of the options. And so this was one of the pieces of information that we felt like would be helpful for this team to work with. And then the last one is that we avoid naming the school after a person or a group of people. Because if you notice in the state of Utah, there's quite a few special schools that are named after people, great people. But now that we don't do that anymore, we wanted to make sure that our parents knew that. And then in that meeting, basically what we did is we went over all of our survey results. So there were 19, which is about half of our student body. We're starting off small. But the fact that we got about 50% of our parents from a survey perspective is pretty freaking awesome. And that was parents and staff, and we asked for them to share what cities they were from. So we had those from PG, Linden, and Orem shared. And so in the meeting, what we did is after we went over all of the survey results, we broke out into very small groups. So we each took those lists, and then we were each tasked with, let's each find our top 3, whether those were from the survey themselves or that they created themselves. And so we all came back to whole group, and they each shared what were their top 3. We just wrote them all on the board, and then that was when the work started, right? Is here's all of the ideas, and let's work with that. What I loved is that our parents had great candor about what they didn't want, which was helpful. Because if they were just like, hey, whatever you think, Dan, is great, like that would drive me crazy. So I was so grateful for candor and passion. And so through that process, we did come up with our top 3 names, and that was we were in full consensus with that. So before I share those names again, Rob, thank you so much for sharing those names. Each of the names had either peak or ridge in them, and so I want to share with you what those parents shared as we chose those top 3. Now the reason that those words are in those names is one is these were the themes that they wanted to be in the name. We can do hard things. Our students in special schools do really hard things every day. And so we really felt like that was a key part. 2 is that we really wanted to reach for our goal, so looking upward. And then the last one is that our school covers 4 cities. And so due to that, we have a broad reach from those heights. So that is why those words are in the names. And then we'll go to the next one. So that just gives the 3, I think, that we've already kind of gone through. We have Peak View, we have Silver Peak, and then we have Valley Ridge. And the parents, those 6 parents that were there, their preference was Peak View, but all 3 of them, we felt like we could definitely live with those. And so we would be happy with any of those options. Do you guys have any questions for me? I'd love to answer anything.
I have a comment, Dan. I'm sorry, I was trying to cut right through the chase. So thanks for
You were-
having a thorough presentation.
You guys are killing it.
Sorry, I stole your thunder
It's-
about the 3 names,
beautiful.
but there we go.
A little teaser.
Apologize.
It's good.
Can I just chime in?
Yeah.
Among the best experiences I've had as a board member, probably half of them have been at Dan Peterson.
Oh, wonderful.
I feel like no school is perfect, but I feel like the staff and the board and the district employees, they really try to give the best to those students. And so I think one of the recent surveys had Silver Peak. I kind of like the silver piece that, we're giving you our best at this school. Anyway, just an idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to be kind of honest here in that I'm not real crazy about any of them.
That's okay.
I'm wanting something that speaks a little bit stronger to what you are doing at these schools, and I'm hoping for something that really just grabs me, and I haven't seen it yet. So I don't know. I guess I'm proposing that this be a discussion, if that's okay, for this board. And I really appreciate the efforts that your parents and that have gone through in the input process. I'm just looking for something more. I don't know. Do we have a process?
I was hoping we were going to be making a motion today. I think they're thrilled. Well, and I guess we can determine this. Dan, I want to thank you for all your work. I know it is in my area, we've named a few schools, so I know it's a lift in trying to get everybody in a common direction. I think there are 3 really excellent choices here. So, and also, because I don't know that I've said this publicly, I'm thrilled that you're the one that is leading this group and steering the ship. They're so lucky to have you. So I guess I'm ready for a motion. I don't know where everybody else is sitting.
This can remain a discussion item, or it can be something that we put forward as an action if someone does want to make a motion regarding the naming of the 2 special schools in the Timpanogos School District area. Okay, so it seems that there is not will to make a motion at this point. So Dan, we will probably have you on the next.
We'll get back with you.
Clarify quickly.
Sorry.
Yes, sorry.
So the intent then is that we will continue to discuss these 3 options, right? We are not expecting new options to be presented. Is that correct?
I am hoping for new options. I'm sorry, but I am hoping for new options, which would be a topic of discussion for the Timpanogos School Board.
Thank you, Ada. Joe, again, one of the things here, it's a unique opportunity. We're splitting into 3 districts. We're trying to name a school as Alpine's board, but we also want feedback from Timpanogos' board. Do you have any other clarity as to the will of Timpanogos board relative to the name that might help this board in their decision, or at least fuel the additional discussion? I don't know if there's a comment that you can make if you know what the will of Timpanogos board is here. And the reason this is important, we have a Tech West that will soon to be named by the Lake Mountain Board. And again, this board wants feedback from those boards. Those schools start this year, but we want those new boards who will own those names moving forward to weigh in, which is what we strive to do here. And so Dan, thank you, and your committee, and Melanie, thank you, and those that you involved as well. But Joe, do you have feedback from the TIMP board?
Joe, we're probably going to ask you to come to the microphone so that individuals online can hear you. Thank you.
Yeah, we sent out a survey to our board members, and
It's still not catching you. Yeah.
we sent out a survey to our board members. 5 of those board members answered the survey. On this school, 1 abstained because that person didn't love the options, and then it was quite split on the others. It was 2 for Silver Peak, 1 for Peak View, and 1 for Valley Ridge. So those were the results of that survey.
Yeah, my feeling is that there was not a strong reaction positively to any of these on the board. So I guess I'm requesting that we revisit this and come again for another, at a future date.
So
take
I
action.
think we ought to be careful. Naming the school isn't about what any of us have an attachment to, or even the Timpanogos board. It's about what the families and the community that will be part of this school. I think we need to be careful that we send a message that their efforts weren't good enough or we didn't like them. So
Yeah, I hope that message was given, but this is a board decision, so, yeah.
Maybe I can just chime in. I could be totally off base, but it feels like we're in mid-June and this school is starting in September. It feels like we got to have a name
We're
for this
starting
school.
in August, so we're starting in 2
August.
months. Yeah.
Sorry. I start September at BYU, so I'm kind of on that thing. I'm just saying, it would be, even though, I'm now, sorry, Ada, we could go get another parent group. We're looking at a month, you know what I mean? To get anything, that puts us, mid-July at least. We got like 1 board meeting a month, so I'm just wondering what the timeline is. Do we have time to wait? I'm just asking that.
I have a question, I guess, associated with that as well, Mark. I'm wondering, I mean, obviously, the school's moving into Sharon, which is an existing building, but I'm wondering if this has an impact on things like TSSA and trust lands, as far as the name of the school needing to be determined so that those funds can be allocated appropriately. Is that kind of a yes that I'm hearing, that the name needs to be resolved?
Dan, do you have time? I imagine you're going to be ordering signage and gear and all these things. Do you have, probably yesterday is when you wanted a name, but.
As soon as the name is there, we are sprinting because we are really in a like a ×5 time frame, right? And so we sent out a 1-page document to the board, to both boards, right after we finished that meeting on June 2nd with the 3 options and why. And so, but we didn't receive any feedback from that document. Like if it came back and said, here are some other options to look at, then we'd be happy to do that. I am worried about the time frame, just for branding purposes, for getting all the things done. But I'd be happy to listen to any other options that the board has. I'd be happy to.
I'm sorry, I don't want to
listen.
disrupt the process.
Yeah.
I'm just cognizant that this is a significant opportunity, and it will be a school that will be around for decades. And
Correct.
so that's my point of view. This board is welcome to make a motion and do what they want to do, but ultimately it is 2 boards that make this decision, correct? This board.
It's just ASD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling like we need to have a name so that we can get things set up. That's what I'm hearing. So, I don't know. Just like my 2 cents, I like Silver Peak Hedgehogs. I think that sounds awesome.
And this is just one of the 2 schools' names, right?
Yeah.
Like Melanie
Yes,
still
there's
needs some
another
time.
one as
Yeah.
well.
I move that we name the school. Do you want to do it? Were you going to make a motion?
I was not going to make a motion. That was the end of my
Okay. Well, I'm going to make a motion, and I move that we name it Silver Peak School.
I will second.
So we have a motion by Board Member Clement and a second by Board Member Bateman to name the K-12 school located in the Timpanogos School District boundary, Silver Peak. Do we have any discussion?
Well, it's not my favorite. Well, of the 3, it was the one that I would have chosen just because it has more of a, when you say it, it has more of a ring to it. I just worry that it sounds more like old people rather than young people. That's my concern with that one.
Okay, any other discussion?
I support this just based off of the family survey. I think I want to support whatever the community would like for the name, so supportive of this.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Clement and a second by Board Member Bateman to name the K-12 school, special school located in the Timpanogos School District area, Silver Peak. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, and that appears to pass 6-1. Next up, still kind of in that same area, we're talking about the post-secondary school name. Thanks, Melanie.
All right, Dan did a great job covering the bulk of our process. We followed the very same process. We had a little bit different numbers. Next one, there we go. We only had 14 stakeholders that responded, and we had 4 parents on our committee. So a little bit smaller committee and a little bit smaller sample size. There were 3 considerations that our parents had, and they were pretty vocal about it. They really felt consistency was important for their students that have been going to ATEC. ATEC was where they knew they were, and it was something they wanted a name that would be easily transitionable for their children. They wanted a name that also described the unique function of the special purpose school, and the students did not want a name that said school because they're adults. So our 3 potential names are the Timpanogos Transition and Education Center, the Timpanogos Transition and Learning Center, and the Timpanogos Learning Center. Do you have questions for me? It's a little brief, but you got most of the details before.
Thanks, Melanie, appreciate it. Do we want to keep this one a discussion item, or would someone like to make a motion?
Can you tell us out of the three, out of the three names, which one was the top choice with the parents?
The Timpanogos Transition and Education Center.
And T-Tech?
They want to call it T-Tech
Okay.
because it's easy for their students to transition with. Yes.
Sorry, can I ask you a question? I had heard a concern that there was concern about tech, that tech implied something that the school was not. And did that come up?
It did. We had not from parents, but from faculty. Their concern is that with a school with tech in the title, it feels like a college or a technical school. And as we've talked about it, that's a great opportunity to give a 30-minute elevator speech and share what your school does. So I'm not concerned about it. The parents aren't concerned about it. It's more from the faculty.
And were your students thinking, because it's, you're transitioning from A-Tech to T-Tech, just having that tech there would be easier for some of the students that will be coming that have been used to A-Tech
Yes.
and kind of being congruent with that? Because I know that any change sometimes can be difficult for students.
Yes,
That way.
that they wanted the consistency, and parents wanted that consistency because their kids already know what it is.
Well, I move that the new transition school in the Timpanogos School District shall be named, in the future Timpanogos School District, shall be named Timpanogos Transition Education Center, or T-Tech.
I'll second.
Motion by Board Member Wilson and a second by Board Member Peterson. Do we have any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of naming the post-high special school in the Timpanogos School District area T-Tech, Timpanogos Transition Education Center, with a motion by Board Member Wilson and a second by Board Member Peterson, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously.
Thank you.
You officially have school names. Congratulations. Okay, next up, we have our action items. Superintendent.
You've received the information. We had a brief presentation. Public hearings tonight would recommend your adoption of the final FY26 budget.
Do we have a motion to adopt the final FY26 budget?
I move that we adopt the final FY26 budget.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Board Member Board Member Peterson and a second by Board Member Lincoln. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of adopting the final FY26 budget with a motion by Board Member Peterson and a second by Board Member Lincoln, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously. Next up.
Board members would recommend your approval of the final tentative budget for Alpine School District fiscal year 27. You've received the information, you've held your public hearing, and would recommend you approve a budget for the last time.
I move that we approve the tentative fiscal year 27 budget.
Second the motion.
A motion by Board Member Bateman and a second by Board Member Clement. Any discussion?
I just wanted to reiterate that I am very grateful for all of the work from all of the committees, all of the staff that have weighed in, the public that has weighed in on this, and I just appreciate the process. It's not quick, although it feels quick in a board meeting with very little comment, but this has been months in the making, and I appreciate the time and the effort that have been put into creating it.
I have been on finance for the entire time I've been on the board, which lucky me. And I was thinking the other day, one of the things that I love most about this is that as we've gone through changes over the last 6 years, and that the talent pool is deep in business services. Like, I don't think people know just how many wildly talented and capable humans we have. And one of the things that I have very much loved having a front row seat is watching people just be ready for, like, do positions. Like, they were already ready, right? And it became, I think, some of these things more of a formality. And so very cool just to watch you all evolve professionally and just, like, this is one of those core memories that I'm going to take with me, because I think in my first finance meeting I said, do they not like us? Nobody talked to us. It was very quiet. And over the years it's kind of changed into I don't know, robust, exciting discussion. I think we're fun. And so, Robert, while I know you were so incredibly devastated to not put together such a comprehensive 300-page budget, I want to thank you for this budget. And Crystal, thank you too. You both are extraordinary humans. We are very lucky to have you with us, so thank you.
I want to also acknowledge that this has been an award-winning school district as far as budgets go. This year, it's kind of an unnecessarily heavy lift to go for that same goal. And so I want to say thank you to Craig for seeing us to the finish line, and just acknowledge that we have been an incredible school district and have been incredibly transparent and forthcoming with information that's readily available to our public. And I don't know, Rob, if you want to speak to that. How many years have we received outstanding budget awards? I don't even know. 3 decades plus. So talk about accountability. This is using your tax dollars in an accountable and transparent way. So I just want to say hats off to those through the years who have made this an exceptional district and very financially healthy.
Okay, so we have a motion by Board Member Bateman and a second by Board Member Clement to approve the tentative FY27 budget. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously.
Item number 3, this is approving ATEC West capital costs for the Lake Mountain School District. You have a initial lease payment for 1 month, a security deposit, and then the initial capital cost. There'll be 4 installments of $275,000 each. That investment to get our ATEC West. You have copies of the information in your packet, as well as footprint, the classrooms. I think the Lake Mountain Board has done a great job laying this new school out. It will serve our students in the West Side, again, preparing for 3 strong districts like we're doing for the Timpanogos district. Alpine is covering these costs as we try to set up 3 strong districts and take care of children and their families and do it in a responsible way. So this authorizes that because it's an Alpine school. And stay tuned for the naming process that'll come at a board meeting soon. Would recommend your approval of the ATEC West capital costs.
I also wanted to add gratitude for all the negotiating teams for each 3 new districts, because this one, as well as the capital costs associated with Sharon, there was a unified commitment to take care of Alpine School District students. Just appreciate all those on the negotiating teams who made sure that students were at the center of everything we did. Do we have a motion regarding approval for the ATEC West capital costs for the Lake Mountain School District?
I move we approve the ATEC West capital costs for the Lake Mountain School District.
A motion by Board Member Lincoln. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Board Member Wilson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the ATEC West capital costs for Lake Mountain School District with a motion made by Board Member Lincoln and a second made by Board Member Wilson, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that appears to pass unanimously. Superintendent.
Item number 4 is Resolution 2026-009, the sale of the Walker property off of Redwood Road. This concurrent resolution was prior approved by the Lake Mountain School District. This authorizes the sale for $10.5 million of 26.23 acres to St. John Properties for additional development, the proceeds of which will benefit the Lake Mountain School District. Would recommend your approval.
Do we have a motion regarding Resolution 2026-009, the sale of the Walker property for the Lake Mountain School District?
I move we approve Resolution 2026-009, sale of the Walker property for Lake Mountain School District.
A motion by Board Member Lincoln. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Bateman. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving Resolution 2026-009, the sale of the Walker property for Lake Mountain School District, With a motion by Board Member Lincoln and a second by Board Member Bateman, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That appears to pass unanimously. Superintendent, I think we're combining 5 and 6 and 5, correct?
Next
Okay.
two items, items 5 and 6 relate to the same item. Item 5 is the detailed lease document that's contained in your packet, as well as being projected here for the public. That has the details of the lease with the American Preparatory Academy Charter School. And item 6 is the actual resolution 2026-010, authorizing the lease of the Cedar Valley Elementary School site to APA for 1 year for Alpine School District, and then the Lake Mountain School District, should they continue that lease, would be in fiscal '28. Would recommend your approval of both item 5 and item 6 as resolution 2026-010.
Do we have a motion to approve Resolution 2026-010, the APA lease for Cedar Valley Elementary School site?
I move we approve Resolution 2026-010, APA lease for the Cedar Valley Elementary School site.
And do we have a second? Second by Board Member Bateman. Okay, so do we have any discussion?
I have just a question. If in that first year there's any lack of viability of this school, is there agreement that there's an umbrella organization that will take liability for that?
So they've already received approval from the Utah State Charter Board
Okay.
based on their current enrollment, and so I don't
There's not gonna
see that
be-
being an issue, but Utah Charter Academies is a large organization that has multiple campuses.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of approving Resolution 2026-010, the APA lease for the Cedar Valley Elementary School site, with a motion by Board Member Lincoln and a second by Board Member Bateman, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That appears to pass unanimously. Superintendent.
Final action item tonight is an easement request from Oakwood Homes on a parcel of property located in the Lake Mountain District boundary, known as the Wander property in the Wander development. This easement request is for utilities, and it's consistent with other properties and easements that are necessary for construction and development. Would recommend your approval. It's a very small parcel. You can see the map here, the way that easement for utilities lays out, and the orientation of the parcel for a potential elementary school in the future. Recommend your approval of item 7.
Do we have a motion regarding the easement of the Wander property?
I move that we approve the easement of the Wander property.
A motion by Board Member Lincoln. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
A second by Board Member Peterson. Any discussion?
Just a question. On the underground right-of-way easement document, none of the actual measurements are filled in. Is that typical for this type of agreement?
Occasionally, we have more detail. This one, there was urgency in getting the easement approved. We'll fill out the additional detail.
Okay.
So the actual detail that's needed.
It's in the maps.
Filling in the blanks, yes, we will.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so we have a motion by Board Member Lincoln and a second by Board Member Peterson to approve the easement of the Wander property. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That appears to pass unanimously. Superintendent.
Couple of reports. Membership report, thanks to Business Services. You can click on that report if you'd like. The actual enrollment decreases typically towards the tail end of the year. You can look school by school. Nothing really to note. You have some schools that are increasing rapidly. You have some that are decreasing. And then you have our secondary schools that are decreasing towards the end of the school year. Again, nothing of significance to note on the membership report. I did take a look at our first UTREX summary, thanks to Paul Lewis and our technology team. And again, speaking about the enrollment decline, we're down 1,000 ADM in the first run. Now that's just the first run. They've got some cleanup, they've got some errors to look at before they do our final submission. But again, It just shows a changing district demographic, and just wanted to highlight that. The last item is just Alpine by the numbers. Again, Jason Croton, his team, and Results and Achievement. I can't say enough about these good folks that support us. Wanted just to highlight the amount of assessment that has gone on as we wrapped up our school year. Our teachers, our testing teams, just tremendous work goes to inform the learning process. For parents, for others that might be listening in, assessments are one measure of learning. They are not the measure. And I think it's important for us. It is information that guides master educators in bringing about the success that we hope for every child, every student to achieve in Alpine School District classrooms. So if you'll go to the next slide, it ties into our strategic plan. It ties into the 3 areas of focus. Go to the next slide. These are the actual numbers of students that have been tested in each of the 6 major tests in the state of Utah and administered here in Alpine School District. Tens of thousands of assessments. And again, thanks to all that are involved in that. For our parents, for our students that support it, we want to be accountable to you. Next. In Skyward, parents, if you wanted to pull up and take a look, you can see some things, your family access, you have access to, you can turn on notifications. Reports have the assessment, who the vendor was. It's just a way for parents to be informed as to the information that comes. And about 200,000 test scores were reported and uploaded into Skyward for you to know how we are doing in supporting the education of your children. Next slide. Just a couple of takeaways. We're looking at data. All of the data has not been fully released. We have a validation process, which is really what the first bullet point talks about. It's important when you gather data to make sure the data is accurate, to make sure that the data is correct and appropriate. So we use that data to inform PD, summer training, collaborative work of our teams. Again, but it's preliminary data. Statewide assessments also give us some level of comparison. It is a standardized test. It's normed. It's adjusted. When you take that statewide data, like the RISE or the Acadians, and you combine that with locally administered assessment data, data that is formative and that teachers use within their classroom, those 2 things combined help us evaluate the efficacy of our program and guide the proper instructional planning and work that our professionals do to meet the needs of our children. Parents have access to this. Would encourage you to have conversations, reach out to teachers, reach out to principals. We're here to support you in the learning of your children, and the conversation is what can help us work with you to have greater results for students and celebrate the successes that we're having. And then lastly, I mentioned before, assessments are only one piece. We want dispositions of character and integrity. We want our students, every student, Johnny and every student like Johnny, to find success and growth in their journey. And assessments are one piece of that, but how they act, what they do, their choices, who they are, their curiosity, that's the stuff really that forms a student in Alpine School District. And with that, that's my report for tonight.
Thank you, Superintendent. We now have time set aside for Superintendent Board Member reports. Is yours officially done? You said it all? Okay, just wanted to make sure.
This week for the Alpine Foundation, we took our field trip over to, this year's trip was to, oh my gosh, Forbes Elementary for the STARS summer visit. So I thought I'd give some fun numbers for everybody. And our STARS program is under the direction of Carrie Milner, who's our director of curriculum for elementary literacy. And then Rebecca Stauffer and Dr. Mary Newbold, who are incredible. They run all of the sites and all of the humans at those sites. So that breaks down to 48 teachers and reading interventionists. We've got 16 paraprofessionals in 26 schools across 16 locations, 32 classrooms, servicing 530 students, which is remarkable. We got to see the breakdown. One of the things that I appreciate most about what they do is they are watching data all year. So when they have, last year was primarily rising first and second graders, this year they added in rising third. And so just to see the difference that the summer program makes in helping students to keep their learning, just remarkable. And then also within those schools, 12 of those schools are in the new Timpanogos area, 6 are in Aspen Peaks, and 8 are in Lake Mountain. So just wanted to say thank you to the 3 of them and to everybody who is at the school sites. It's really cool to walk into a classroom and watch kids engage in different ways. Some of the things they're able to do lend themselves to a smaller group. And so watching kids kind of connect some of the context clues and the different activities they're doing is really such a fun thing to see, and also to watch their excitement when they get it and they know they got it. There's nothing better than watching a student make progress and see it and celebrate them and then celebrate each other. So thank you to the foundation for the continuation of this program.
Just a brief report. There was an Education Appropriations Committee meeting this morning, today, and or this afternoon. I thought there were some things we ought to pay attention to. It appears that there was a lot of discussion about the process by which parent complaints are resolved. It appears to me the legislature may want to go into that a little bit more. They also talked a little bit about federal funding. And federal funds are about 19% of SPED funding that the district receives. And it actually decreased by 6% in 25 and 26. So that means that we as LEAs have really had to be putting more general education money into SPED funding. Their claim is that districts, LEAs, are putting in about 4% of general education funding into SPED. I would love it if we could provide a better estimate for the legislature. I believe it's probably more. I talked to Davis. They said they put about 20 million in last year. And so if we had that from all LEAs, I think this year the legislature is poised to do something with special ed. So it would be nice for them to have an accurate picture of how much we're digging into our general fund to support that. I also, I was impressed, Cindy Davis actually, she's from our area, she chimed in, and her claim, which I would love to believe but seems incredible, is that nearly 100% of 504 complaints are eventually resolved so that the parents are satisfied with it. And that is amazing. Again, the complaints go to USBE. The USBA forwards them to the districts. They work with the parents to resolve those. And so maybe it's kudos to those in our district that deal with these 504 complaints. Thank you for making sure that our parents are satisfied with the results.
I just wanted to acknowledge, I know I referenced this a little bit earlier as we talked about the funding for ATEC West, but wanted to acknowledge that the negotiations teams have met and completed the bulk of the negotiations for the district split. Just wanted to thank everybody who's a part of that team. It involved the superintendent, board president, and board vice president of each of the 3 school districts. And the MOU that was created was approved by Aspen Peaks last week. It's on the agenda for Timpanogos tomorrow, and then anticipated it'll be for Lake Mountains next week. There was a huge amount of effort and time and energy that was put into finding a good space where every district and every student was taken care of. And I just wanted to express my personal appreciation for everyone involved in the process. It wasn't always easy. It sometimes got a little complicated, but I think everybody left that space feeling an increased level of respect for everybody in the room and the commitment to take care of employees and students. So I just wanted to express that and let individuals know that the anticipation is that will be resolved by July 1, which gives everyone a full year to kind of focus on what they need to take care of in each of their individual districts. So just shout out to all of those teams and those who participated. Were there any other board member reports?
Just wanted to report the USBA representatives from throughout the state met, and many of you were there. And we worked out our legislative priorities, thanks to Mark and others who led us through that process. And we came up with some solid priorities to present to our legislators. And number one, of course, as Mark mentioned, was our SPED funding. And for also, especially for those with particularly high needs that are so expensive, their needs rise, the cost of their needs rises quickly, and we appreciate our help from our legislators to make that less burdensome to our districts.
Okay, we don't have need of a closed session, so do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion by Board Member Clement, second by Board Member Beeson. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thanks. And then we are adjourned officially at 7:31 p.m. Thank you all for your attendance here.